Okay, we're back. We're back. I'm Eric Wong with NVCDayOne. I'm here with
Kady, Living Connected.
Living Tibet, the podcast heard around the world. Go find it, download it now.
Yep.
So when we last left, we were talking about a little role play. We're gonna switch roles. I'm gonna be Kady, and Kady's gonna be Kady's dad. We'll call him.
It's gonna be hard.
We're gonna be Joe. We'll call him. I'm gonna say no. It's just Dad.
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 I'm Dad.
Yeah, Dad. Okay. And the setup is this. Just to remind everyone, what's the setup? What is it that I'm wanting from Dad?
So I wanted from Dad, or I wanted patience that came with a pause, and maybe that pause was 5 seconds, and then a hug, and then considered to be care, and then the pause was also with the response came with more warmth tone.
Okay, so there's for patience a pause. For tone there's warmth. And a hug.
And a hug for
comfort, care, love,
yep.
all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be Kady and you're gonna be Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. So hey Dad, how you doing today?
Yeah, doing fine.
Good. We're gonna redo this. Okay. Hey Dad, I was wondering if you had 5 minutes to talk. I'm moving. I'm getting the rest of my stuff out, and I wanted to have a heart-to-heart about some stuff. Are you up for 5 minutes?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. Yeah. I just wanted you to know I've loved the time I love the time that we had taking walks. I enjoyed cleaning the house from time to time, and preparing food and just being around this whole time. And there's been some tension between us. And I was hoping to just let you know how things are going. But is there anything comes up for you when I say that?
Well, just for Kady speaking, I could feel my hands go.
Okay.
Not that it's you or anything, but I'm picturing myself being like you and my dad being in this situation, and it makes me nervous.
It makes you nervous. You can feel the nervousness. Okay.
Because I would deeply want it to go so well if I were to say what you just said to him.
Right.
Because I think I've tried that before.
I believe you have.
And it ends up not
going
the way
well.
I wanted to do. So what did I hear you say?
Let's pause. We're going to restart, okay?
We're going to restart?
We'll completely restart, okay?
But that was good.
Okay, well, we can keep going. Let's go.
I don't know what to say as a dad.
Okay, let's start again. We're going to start again. Okay. Hey, Dad, do you have 5 minutes? I'm moving out. I'm going to be moving the last of my stuff out. And I just wanted to have a conversation about us. Are you up for 5 minutes of conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I loved our walks. I'm really glad I was here for Mom's passing. I'm going to really miss you. And I really would like to see if there's a way forward for us, because I want to be able to talk to you. Would you, on a regular basis, would you just, does that make sense? Would you like to talk on a regular basis to each other?
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dad. I would too. There's a couple things I'd like to ask from you. Are you open to hearing those things, Dad?
Hearing things that are going on for you?
Well, really, I'm just going to be asking for things that I think will help with us staying connected.
Okay.
Once I moved out. Are you up for hearing that?
Sure.
Okay. I just thanks, Dad. I've going forward, I just would like us to have some more warmth in our conversations. I find the level of volume and energy it just hurts, and I'm a little bit worried you're hearing some blame or shame in that. I just want you to know I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this is what my experience is, and I'd like to see if we can find a way to talk to each other where we're not yelling. Is it something? So I'd like to see if there's some strategies we could go for warmth and care in our conversations. Is warmth and care something that you would like to have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
would.
You would. Okay. What about? So I have some. What is? Do you have any ideas as to how we could have some more warmth and care in our discussions?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay. Well, I've got a couple of strategies. You up for them?
Sure.
Okay. So I was thinking, number one, when I see you, the first time I see you, when I walk in the door, I was wondering if maybe we could do a hug. Is that something you'd be up for each time I walk in the door?
Absolutely.
You'd be a hug?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, a hug. So I'd like just a nice, Okay, so that's great. So that's something we can do. Would you be up for a hug right now? Not right now.
I don't know what he'd say.
You don't know what he'd say, but that's okay. That's okay, Dad. That's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So that's fine. The reason I would do that, just to take a step out a second, is because it's a positive, doable request in that moment.
Okay.
Right. And it sets the stage for the next stage, which is more requests.
Got it.
And I haven't given him empathy or given him an opportunity to search. So I'll try this. So I'm going to try this now. So even before that, so after I've generated hopefully some warmth between us, actual physical warmth in this case, stepping back in the role, I might say something like, Dad, as I'm thinking about warmth and care, what's coming up for you? And is there something that's coming up for you?
I don't know.
You don't know.
What is warmth in that? What does that mean?
Okay. Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like.
So when I talk about warmth,
I don't know what that is.
yeah, okay. Yeah, for me, there's a couple of things, but mostly again, I'm concerned it's just, I don't know what to do, I guess. So I would like to see if we can go forward with some positive things that we can do each time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So I'm thinking, so number one, we've agreed to do a hug when I see each other. Okay. I'm wondering if maybe when we're talking, if there's a way for you to come with more curiosity rather than challenge in your voice. I'm wondering if you could just be more, because I don't know. I mean, I believe that you care. You do care about me, right, Dad?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Of course you do. But sometimes the yelling, it doesn't convey the care for me. It doesn't convey the care for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that, how is that for you to hear?
I don't ever want to fight with you.
Yeah, you don't ever want to fight with me. I don't want to either. I don't want to fight either. Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's something we can do. I'm wondering what can be done, how to support a place where we are talking with a tone of curiosity rather than a strong, challenging tone. Is there something you can think of, or?
I mean, what is curiosity and chat? Like what?
What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets really tough because I don't think he necessarily understands what that is.
Right. Okay.
And I think before, like one of the podcasts, I was like, why don't they just come, like, be curious versus this, like you said, I don't think I use challenging, but that's the exact kind of thing I'm thinking. Get curious versus just this accusation way. Yeah,
my diagnosis or discernment for your father, as it is for me and everyone else, is it's impossible to be curious when we're activated. And
right.
He's activated in a certain way.
It's hard to get curious.
That's why these particular requests are challenging.
Yeah.
Because while it's clear you know what your needs are,
right.
the strategies to get to the needs require him to do something.
And if he doesn't think that it's his problem, he won't want to do something.
Also in NVC, it's not the other person's responsibility to regulate your internal reaction. But you can
100%.
always say what you want, except that in this case, this party, your father, might not be open to it.
Right.
And if he's not open to it, then you can either invite him in through self-expression and be very, very careful and warm,
right.
or you can choose to not engage.
Probably
And
not
both
engage, I would think.
not engage is protective, right?
Yeah.
And engaging is scary.
Because when I do engage, it ends up being a fight.
Right.
So when I don't engage and think, that's the other thing, is I think it also is discerning in that moment, how do you move forward in that? Because if he's unwilling, then, and doesn't have the capacity, then he won't hear the next steps or the requests.
Right. And there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in your thinking that he's not going to be able to, or go to do the next steps.
Right.
But you can still hope and try.
I could still hope and try, and then when it goes to shit, we're like,
You can mourn,
Right,
you can mourn, and you can say,
right.
why did I listen to Eric and try this nonsense?
because there was this one time in the morning, and I don't know why Jesus Christ, he wants to talk to me in the morning, and I'm like, just let me meditate and drink my coffee. But I had just closed my eyes and just calmly said, I am just exhausted and drained and defeated. And your question, I just would have preferred kindness. What is kindness? What does kindness mean? What is that? What do you want me to do? So it's like already you know that he was coming not resourced. He was not coming from a space of like, I'm cooled down from the time before. You know, he's not regulated. So
He can't see or hear anything.
no, and that's when that in a discernment of say this conversation, if I were to have with him, definitely have to discern does he have the capacity to even hold that request? Because a hug seems doable. It's physical. There's no mental capacity needed. Just, you know, a hug for me is a hug. Take away all of that other thing. But then when you get to a question of like, can you come with more warmth and curiosity versus a challenging tone? That's like, what does that mean? What is that? Because I don't know. I'm 74 years old and have known nothing about what curiosity is. How do you approach someone with that?
Yeah. And maybe.
And he doesn't
So he
have
has
the
no
skills for
clue.
that. No clue.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where he's sitting is with no clue. So do you discern and press for that conversation forward? Or do you take a pause and say, okay, well, let's talk about this another time? Or maybe it's just he's not ready. Start with the hug and be done.
It might be, that might be it. It might be a hug, and then it might be 2 hugs the next time.
Yeah.
In 3 hugs.
Or you could say, instead of like in curiosity, maybe you start in text versus voice.
Right.
Text you can read as neutral.
Right.
Most of the time, if it's just like, I love you, you can read that as I love you. You don't have to read it as any sort of like hatred behind that.
Right.
So that could be a very small way. A curiosity, I guess, maybe if it was an example of like, what is curiosity? And he comes and I don't know. I would say maybe just a text that said simply, hey, how are you? In a text, you don't come with, where have you been? What are you doing? You know, you don't have that tone behind that question. It's just a simple text. How are you?
Yeah, so start small.
Start with so small.
So it's really
I think
small.
for him, it has to be so small.
So invite him in. Invite him in. So you start with warmth and see if you can generate actual warmth.
Mm-hmm.
And then invite a small step, whether it's in a text message or something else. I mean, as I'm thinking about it, it could be something as simple as what you have for breakfast today.
Yes.
Completely neutral. So if you can generate in the moment when you're physically with him some physical warmth.
Yes.
And then you just say, hey, let's just chit chat about, simple stuff. Not big stuff.
Not big stuff.
Yeah.
Little stuff.
Little stuff, small talk.
Small talk to get
Things going.
deeper. And trust built.
Yeah.
Because trust is so broken that we've
Yeah.
got to start small to build the trust.
Right.
Back up to bid forward into that connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved this though. This was good.
Yeah, and I appreciate your thought of doing the text messages. I just don't know. I honestly just don't know. I mean, it sounds like the text messages worked last time
It seemed to,
because they were simple.
Simple, short.
So that's my thing. Is I think short expressions with an opportunity for feedback, which is why I wanted to do the redo on that.
Yes.
Excuse me. Can't edit that out. Okay. Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah. Dang it. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, I guess, in your next interaction.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is you should use the word push instead of invite.
Invite. I really do like that word a lot. And
Right.
the word invite, I just for some reason is hard to put in my vocabulary.
Yes, and I suspect that's from your upbringing.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the end, you are some kind of a driver.
Yeah. I'm on the horse for sure.
Right. Right. That's why you have your own podcast. Because you're driving your own podcast,
Yes,
right?
right.
So I think if you can invite and figure out what that
Invite, I
is,
like that.
rather than control, which is what you've been taught, then
Yeah.
there's a chance.
Yeah.
So the
true.
hug.
The
So one of
hug.
the other thoughts I had, we'll go just another couple of minutes here, I hope. You generate actual warmth, and you could ask him in that moment, how does that feel? Can you notice the warmth there? Because I really love that warmth.
Yeah, right.
And just give him a moment to see if he can experience
Connect
what that's
that,
like.
Yeah, connect with that, right.
Right. And you can say something like, Dad, I love it when we have this warmth and we express our care for each other in this way.
Yeah.
And can you feel that now? Is this what you would like more of? Because this is what I would like more of. What comes up for you when I say that, Dad? Might be another way.
God dang it, I wish I was that good in the moment. It sounds so perfect.
Well, I don't know.
Now I wish he would role play and actually sit here. And like, I would love to be a bystander, like sitting over there and watching some.
Wouldn't that be
happen.
great? Yes.
I would learn so much.
If you could get Mary McKenzie to be you,
yes,
and him to be him, and you could watch, that would be
oh
awesome.
my God, I would love that.
Yeah.
You know how much I would learn from that?
You would learn so much.
In every single thing, because my dad says things sometimes when I'm like, when my grief counselor, amazing, was kind of talking and he was like talking with her, the things he said, it was like, oh my God, you feel, that's how you feel? But you're talking to a counselor that you don't even like talking to, that you think is going to change you or tell you what's wrong with you, and here's what you're saying. I bet he would say unbelievably amazing things that actually comes from like your heart space.
That must have been so amazing for you to hear. It really must have melted your heart. Huh?
Oh yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's the true. There it is. There is the heart space vulnerability. That.
And you love that.
I love that, because that is actually what truly is underneath all of this anger that's been happening.
Yeah.
That. And
Yeah.
you're like,
And from that you can generate warmth for him. As
yes,
much as it's frustrating.
just hearing it from an outside, just sitting on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when he stands there and he starts to like cry and say, there's only gonna be one shadow.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be me. And I'm like, oh my God, like his whole life, like 2 shadows this whole time, and now it's only one. And like, I felt his pain in that.
Yeah.
I know what that's like, to have someone there all the time and then have them be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's like. I mean, I'm not knowing what it's like to be married for 36 years, but like,
You know what it's like to have parents for 36
yeah,
years?
like
35 years?
how can I not feel that pain that he had? And I was like, that's the warmth, that's the rawness that I can feel and feel compassion and empathy for.
Yeah, and you'd like to be connected to him through that.
Yes.
Yes.
But then there's sometimes, or most of the time, that wall that gets put up for him through that anger and frustration where it's not connected deeply like that very often. So, like, yeah, sitting, if Barry was me and he was sitting, I would probably, like, in that small moment, probably learn a tremendous amount. I mean, she would have the, see, this thing, she has the capacity, and she's not me, and she's not close to the situation. So it'd probably be easier for her to not get hooked like I get hooked.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Unless she was in my ear. Now, let's see here. If she could be in my ear and my dad not know it, and I can, like, say what she's saying to me out loud.
Yeah.
I would feel supported in that she's there helping me be better. It'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Instead of you and him, or you
Yeah.
against him, it would be, you would have support. Yeah.
And I could see someone else interact with him in a way that would work maybe. And then I could go, oh, I could do that. I could learn from her and go, oh, I'll practice doing what she just did. But again, I'm so close and intimate with the relationship that it's very hard to separate myself, cut those fibers to be.
So I have one last strategy to offer you.
Bring it on.
So the next time he comes at you with a tone that you don't like, which is confrontational, that you judge to be confrontational.
Yes. Don't die on me.
Sorry. Allergies. Okay, one more
I know,
time.
we're out in the wilderness.
You ready for... So you're ready for one last strategy?
Yes.
Okay. The next time he comes at you with this confrontational or painful energy, if you're able to, you could simply say something like, Dad, is there anything I can say or do right now for you that would make you happy or calm you down or make you understand how much I love and care for you?
Yeah. Can I go over there? Yeah. Clear!
Is there anything I can say or do
to make this better for you?
Is there anything I can do, say or do in this moment
to help
so that
you
there'll
have
be more warmth in between us? Is there anything I can say and do that could make you feel happy? Is there anything I can say and do that would support you? Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I found that works.
Yeah. Who was it where we were with? Oh, we were with Rachel.
Rochelle.
Rochelle. Why do I say Rachel? Rochelle, because there was a Lushelle that I had on, so I could. So Rochelle, was it her or Rochelle who said, "Why would you be any different?" You know. So thinking. Of course, someone who's kind of like an accusatory tone, it isn't curious. Of course, another person would be met and wouldn't be any different, because that's like an automatic like response. It takes so much a challenge to have that. Just pause. Don't answer the question, because I know I'm going to respond with it with sarcasm or a tone back.
Mm-hmm.
To respond with, how can I, help you in this moment to have more warmth in this conversation moving forward?
Yes. Yes.
That's it. And then see what he says.
Because
it's not about the question that's accusatory. It's not about the tone.
It's actually about him.
Right.
Everything is about him.
Yes.
And the hard thing for you, which you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is your own reactivity.
Yes.
And his reactivity triggers your reactivity.
Yep.
And so then you're not in his head, you're in your head.
Yep.
Because you don't have enough self-empathy. So if there's a way you can turn it with a question.
Help us have more warmth.
Yeah. Or is there anything I could say to support you?
And just take out the fact that he had a tone or it was whatever.
Right.
I have to like get it out of my head that it's not that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what I think Yvette would say is something like, we don't have the vocabulary for saying what we feel or what we want.
100%.
Yep. We don't have the vocabulary, and we don't have the mindset.
Mm-mm.
And that's what's so challenging about all this stuff.
I think that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head with that when I said like we don't have the skills. It's yes, my dad is hearing me use new vocabulary and it's scary, and he doesn't have that mindset nor the vocabulary to use to have that conversation. So if I came at him with warmth and say, how, Dad, can I respond to you with warmth in this moment? How can we move together through this conversation with warmth? He won't even know what that means.
It might not. It might simply be, what can I do specifically
Typically to help this.
What can I specifically do to support you? What can I do to support you? The
right
simple question back.
Yeah.
And that might become, so my experience, people become disoriented and then they answer, yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Right, exactly. Then you're like, okay,
Thanks.
I'll be good.
How about a hug?
I'll have a hug. Yeah, how about that?
How about a hug?
Yeah.
Or a donut.
Cookies?
Cookies would be great.
You want a cookie? A muffin? Cinnabons are even better.
Oh, they are. Yes. It's
love
been
those.
2 or 3 years since I've had a Cinnabon of any kind.
So good.
It is good.
Damn.
They are good.
That would have been a good dessert for lunch. After lunch.
Yeah, but I was so full of salsa verde shrimp
For
tacos.
tacos.
Well, I think that's it for today. Well, thanks,
Thank you.
thanks, Kady.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm glad we got to meet up and be in person. It was fabulous.
That's
and
pretty cool. Yeah, we'll have to do this at least once every 16 to 18 months, I guess.
No, 6 months to a year.
6 months
Come on,
to a
that
year.
would be
Okay,
good.
great. That sounds great. Okay, wave goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Toodles.